All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started just to be respectful of everyone who is on here and of people's times. Thank you guys for jumping on. So just as we're kind of doing some restructuring and looking at inventory protocols, I think it's an opportune time to talk about our tissue policy. And we now have an official MVP tissue policy. So it's in place for a reason, and it's really important that we follow the guidelines to a T. MVP, as you guys know, we have tissue at all 4 of our office locations, which is great. And these locations are registered through the FDA. So that means that we're being monitored through the FDA. And so we have to follow all of these protocols of our policy because otherwise we're jeopardizing this entire operation that we've got going on with tissue. And a lot of territories are really utilizing and taking advantage of the fact that we can carry in amnion, Allisync, whatever it is, to our cases. So it's really important that we're all kind of following this policy. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can hear you great.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Deep Felice can't hear me, but he's gonna have to figure it out. All right, so real quick, whenever every office has a standard operating procedures binder. So if you guys are touching tissue, and I really hope that everyone is, because this is something that we should be, we have it for a reason. We should be carrying it into our cases where it's not consigned. Then it is required that every rep has read through this SOP and has signed off on that. So if you guys haven't done it, each office does have a copy of this binder, so just make sure you've perused through that and signed off. It just kind of discusses storage, handling, documentation, so you're knowledgeable on tissue. Then we've got very specific transportation guidelines in place for tissue. So you guys, it's important that we are checking tissue out, requesting it through Red Spot at least 24 hours in advance. So all the tissue is under lock and key for a reason. And that's so that we're not just wandering into an office, grabbing all of it, and then losing track of where it all is. So the FDA can come in and audit any one of our offices at any time. So we have to be prepared. Everything needs to be in place and where we say it is at any point. So that's why we've got the lock and key. So make sure you guys are requesting things through Red Spot. You guys should be checking it out through your office manager. All the tissue has clear sheets, and we need to be writing down surgeon, facility that we're bringing the tissue to, and case date on that clear sleeve. So that's the information you need to be providing your office manager with while you're checking out any tissue. And any heat-sensitive tissue, specifically Arthroflex, needs to be transported in protective sleeves. So make sure that you're doing that so we don't red dot any of these items since they're pretty pricey. Lastly, if you guys don't use something for a case, you do have just 24 hours to return it back to your office. So again, this is just to make sure that we can track everything, know where it is if we do get audited at any point of time. So if you have some Allisync expand on you one day and it ends up in a bin at a facility, just try to be mindful that you get it back to your office within 24 hours of whenever you checked it out. Another important point is that we are never to transport tissue between facilities that is not MVP owned. So we're a licensed tissue bank. We're allowed to transport and courier any of this tissue that is MVP owned. But say I'm at a Baycare facility, I'm at St. Joe South, and they really need a Cardiform. And I know that South Florida Baptist has Cardiform stocked there. I cannot transfer that Cardiform over to St. Joe South. So we're not licensed medical couriers. We're not able to do that. And there can be some real repercussions on MVP if one of us were to courier any tissue that is not MVP owned. So how I could help out the account in that type of a situation is by providing transfer of inventory form to them and just assisting in a transfer process, but they've got to identify their own medical courier. We've done these types of things, and then courier the tissue themselves. We don't touch that stuff, so please don't do that. And then the last thing is that if a territory has any tissue consigned at an account, there's only, I think currently within MVP 3 accounts where we do have tissue consigned. So just remember that that is something we can do if you guys don't have accounts ordering direct. It's your responsibility, whoever's kind of running that account, managing that account. Paul does it at Premier, for example. It's your responsibility to make sure that monthly temperature logs get back to me, because I've got to keep record of all of that. Again, if we get audited, it's something that we've got to have on hand to be able to provide. So kind of just to wrap up, all of this is in place for a reason. We just need to follow the protocol and can't be selfish. I know that there's like add-on cases and moments where we really just are thinking in the moment, want to make a sale, a quick sale, but we could jeopardize everything that's going on. So if Tampa gets audited tomorrow and stuff isn't where we're saying that it is, then guess what? Tampa just ruined it for all of MVP. All 4 tissue locations get shut down. So just let's prepare for our cases ahead of time and just be diligent and responsible with this, because this is a privilege that we're all able to have tissue. Do you guys have any questions? Or anyone have anything that they need to add? Melissa, Lauren?
Yeah, actually, there's going to be, this policy is going to be on your employee portal for you to electronically sign and acknowledge that you did read that. So we're also going to be uploading the policy, the standard operating procedure manual that you have, Casey. And so if you haven't done it and you haven't signed it, it's going to be uploaded into everyone's Dominion account so they can read that, sign it, and acknowledge that as well. I'll just email everybody once it's uploaded.
Great. All right, simple and straightforward. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, we verbally reviewed that with everyone and there wasn't any miscommunication. No one could say that they had never heard of any of this. And that's kind of all I've got.
I just want to say real quick, Casey's recording this too. So for the team members that aren't on tonight, they need to review it as well. So we'll make sure that that gets out because it's just imperative that this is followed, because we've had the FDA come in, I believe once, maybe twice since we've had the tissue license, and initially when they set it up, and then I believe one more time since then. And so it is a process that if it's not followed, there are just major ramifications. And I know Casey had already mentioned that, but it's important to reiterate, because it's not just revoking the license. There's also a hefty fine from the FDA that goes with it. So it's all good. Follow the process. It's there for a reason. It's in place, and teams are doing it, but it just needs to be noted and diligently followed more closely throughout MVP.
Absolutely. And just a side note, you know, as we get people visiting into MVP and as I talk to other biologics managers, we definitely have one of the larger tissue inventories as a distributorship. So I think that's really exciting that we're able to carry all this. So I think, as Doug said, we're doing a good job. Everyone is following the process, but now we have an official policy in place, and it's just essential that we keep following it. So thank you guys for hopping on tonight.
Thanks, Casey.
Thanks, Casey.
Bye.
Thank